Welcome to Rossman Radio, the podcast where we dive deep into the journeys of entrepreneurs, founders, and e-commerce brands that are breaking through the noise and scaling like never before. I'm Alysse, and Rossman Media is a trend-forward social media agency specializing in going viral and delivering 10x returns for the brands that we work with. Each week, I'll sit down with industry disruptors to talk about the highs, the lows, and the exact strategies that help them grow from their first sale to multi-million-dollar milestones. If you're ready to unlock what it really takes to win on social, build a community, and multiply your revenue, then you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Rossman Radio. This is Alysse, and I'm here with Erika Mandel. She is a co-owner of Created Blinds and has quite the story for us today. Also, this is a family-owned and operated business, and I just want to say that we're excited for so many reasons to have you on the podcast, but when it comes to family-owned and operated businesses, it strikes a chord because they just don't exist anymore. So I'm excited to get into everything. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So why don't you first start out by telling us how you landed on blinds? I mean, it's not every, you go to college, you figure out what you want to do. It's like, I'm going to own a blind business. So tell us, how did this happen?
Right. It absolutely was not in the picture for me until it was. So interesting story. So my dad actually started the company in 1976. And I always wanted a career that was much fancier than blinds. The most exciting that it got growing up was me going to a trade show and saying, oh, these new shutters don't warp, fade, tarp, peel, are fire retardant. It was such a category that was just a one-dimensional category. I just always saw myself doing something so different than the family. Went off after college, did the whole corporate America thing. I then started my own sales and marketing company after working for a Big Four consulting firm. Really just wanted to grow businesses from the ground up. And I took on several clients across multiple industries. And then my dad came and said, take us on, please. Do your thing and grow this business. And let's see if we've got a legacy business. And then you can be on your way. And so that's exactly what
he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, definitely.
On your way. You're in it for life.
On your way. Exactly. And then I fell in love with the business. It is so multidimensional. It is something that makes somebody's home. It completes the look of their perimeter, their space, but also it just elevates everyday living. It's all about the layered look now. It really just adds so much to people's decor. And I have always loved design. So it was kind of like this business that was sitting right in front of me. And until it slapped me in the face, I really didn't see it for what it was.
That is, I feel like, the story that you hear from every successful business person. And it's always you never expected it. You never thought it was going to happen. It's not what you wanted. It wasn't the plan, but somehow just landed in your lap and it ended up being something that you love, which is so great. Is your dad still in the business?
He is. Every single day he comes into work.
Wow. That's impressive. How old is he?
He's 73.
Okay.
He's kind of like the mentor and coach to everyone, especially me. He is somebody that I look up to, talk about, building a reputation second to none. I would not have been able to come in and do the work that I did to grow this business without him establishing this unbelievable reputation. He's just always done the right thing and continues to do the right thing and to model that for everyone.
That is seriously oh my gosh, when we're talking about family businesses, that is that's why I love family businesses. I come from a string of family businesses as well. So it's very much in my core values. And, if you know, you always have to do the right thing. And I feel like now business is just different. And, cancel culture is crazy. People are quick to judge and quick to not like something and blow it up. And it's just also businesses kind of treat you differently nowadays. It's even the service industry, things are just changing. And I don't know what it is, but every time I go back home, which is in the Midwest, I visit my aunts at the hair salon, or I go to my aunt's flower shop where they all own family businesses still, I'm like very humbled and reminded that good work still exists, and like doing right no matter what is always going to win and be like the best way. And it's no secret that you've been able to grow the business like as a result of that. You know, you can go so far with marketing and sales. These are all like, you know, obvious performance factors, right? Like you need to market the business, you know, but if the core foundation of the business is rooted in integrity, you're going to be successful.
Yeah, it is. It's really back to basics. It's doing the right thing, and it's micro actions that add up.
Definitely. Okay, so let's talk about the micro actions. What are you guys doing currently? I would say, let me back that up. What are you guys finding is most successful when it comes to online or digital marketing?
So I've said this a few times, but going back to basics has really been key for us. So if we're going to implement a new strategy around AI, it's something in the background. It's not something in the forefront. So it's actually remembering who we are, what we present to clients that is different. I mean, we are a tangible product that you can see, touch, and feel. We are people that are consultants. People rely on our opinions. And so we have to provide that client experience. So if we are doing any kind of marketing, we keep that front and center, because if we start on autopilot doing something, we can just see the results where it's going in the wrong direction versus maintaining what we have at our core, and then putting strategies around that.
Wow. Okay. And that being said, would you say that, I completely agree with you, by the way, like going back to the basics is definitely something that we're seeing a lot throughout like the clients that we're working with, specifically when we have different clients that are like, okay, well, what about jumping on this trend and that trend? And what we're finding with trends now on social is people are kind of like, it's basically a thing where people will hop on it and create the same content. And now we have a whole scroll of the same people filming the same video. So it's not performing as it used to. You know, creating good content for people online is really what is working like the best. It's king right now. But I will say in your industry, like you said, it's something that's like tangible. So how are you guys conveying that messaging of not just like how great this product is, but who you guys are as a company and like your values and what you bring to the table?
So we actually state outright, you don't do business with bots here. And I think that people are catching on with the whole idea of, is this real? And so we know we have the opportunity to do digital videos with AI and not actually do photo shoots and all the things, but the spirit behind it and the personality doesn't come out the same. And so by way of example, we held a designers event here last night, and it was fantastic. And we had our social media crew here. We could absolutely have had them piece together something on the back end, but having the live presence and committing to doing live shoots every month, continuing to promote actual projects online versus us just rendering a window and pretending like it's ours. Yeah. It's not a direction that we're going in. I do think that clients and potential prospects see and feel the difference.
Oh, they do 100%. It's so wild you brought that up, because AI is definitely taking over in a lot of ways. I think it's really good when it comes to like AI SEO. I think that can really help, you know, getting people showing up in ChatGPT and things like that. But AI videos, we don't do them. Mm-hmm. You know, we will, if a client specifically requests it, that's the case where, okay, you want to do it, that's fine. That's your audience. And we'll go over like the pluses and minuses. But when we see people like the most, like you've nailed it, like stay that way, because we're all still humans. And I tell people this all the time, like at the end of the day, you can do everything right for the algorithm, but you still have to appeal to that human that's on the scroll. So if they can tell, you can tell when it's AI. It is, you know, it's getting a lot like harder to tell when it's AI, but
there's a feel.
Your people can tell too. Your
Mm-hmm.
our teams can tell. So what I mean by that is last year was power of the people, right? We're all about elevating the people. If I'm doing most of the selling here, most of the, client service calls, we've got a problem, right? Every single person here is empowered. We've got 20 team members, and we really call them family because they really are, that have to bring their full selves to work every day. So this year is called the power of the H experience, so the human experience, and it is both about our people and our clients. So while it is harder to tell when your clients are still participating in your social media videos and your people are talking about their favorite trends in design and you're having your designers come and actually speak to a community, it's all real. It's all real. And so that trickles out.
Yeah. And people know that, they can feel it, and people don't want to be sold to anymore. They don't want to be faked. They don't want, I mean, we see this a lot. We work with a lot of beauty brands, and we see that a lot in beauty is a lot of AI is being relied on, a lot of like overproduction, filtered. It's like, you're selling a beauty product, but like, that's not what it looks like. And it's so crazy because the people that are focused more on like authenticity, which I think is like a buzzword more or less, but it's true. The brands and businesses that are focused on keeping it real are the ones that are going to make it through this whole bubble, because I do think this is a wave. I think that this is a wave where people love AI right now because it's, they dangled this nice, easy thing, ChatGPT, like, here, let's make your productivity faster. Like, you can craft an email better. You can communicate better. You can speed up your project management. Here, use this tool. And it's like, people aren't thinking about the bad side effects of what this is bringing to like our commerce and like our businesses. So I do think that once that comes to light, people will be going more back to the basics. Like, wait a second, I want this out, and I need to like figure out what my brand is, because now it's so far from what we originally set out to do, because it's been robotic. Like, it's been manufactured and changed so many times through AI that now you've almost lost like the brand identity and how you don't even know who your person is that you're appealing to. So it's interesting. I hope you guys never lose that, because it's definitely, I mean, you've been in business since 1976, so you guys clearly know what you're doing. But I definitely think that you're on the best path. What do you guys, when your social team comes in to these events, are they like, do you guys focus on like different, like, not trends on social, I'm saying like trends in like the home design industry? Like, are you guys doing like things where like a certain blind or like a certain window covering or whatever is really popular at the moment? So are you like focusing on that, or do you really stay traditional and like keep everything in your catalog like front and center?
No, I mean, really all of it. So people love to see live projects. They love to see things come to life. So we'll do some befores and afters. We will spotlight trends. We will show a client design meeting. We will, show a showroom experience, have a tour. And then, ultimately seeing the shades move, especially the motorized ones, all the sexy things that shades can do these days.
I have those, and I'm always like, these are so cool.
They are, and they're the new normal, and they really do elevate your everyday living, and people get them and they are just so excited.
It's have like a button on the wall, and one says AM, one says PM, and there's like a program, and like 9 o'clock they go up, you know. I'm just like, you guys, like, I feel like I'm in a castle.
Well, and once you go to it, you really can't go back. You cannot imagine life differently. You don't go around unscrewing a light bulb to screw back a light in every single location. You press a button and they all go on, right? It should be that easy. So it's really becoming the new norm, and the pricing has come down a little bit. So it's really a huge part of our business.
That's awesome. I felt like, here I am. I just bought my first house, and it came with like a lot of upgrades. One of the upgrades was shutters. And I feel like so cool, because I graduated from like my curtain rod and curtains from Amazon to these like really expensive looking window coverings on every single window. Like, and everyone comments on them too. Like, when you come into my home, like just last night, my brother was like literally like pulling them out and being like, wow, like, this is awesome. This looks so nice and fresh and clean. And like, shutters are like old school, like cool. So it's like, I can't even imagine how these people are feeling when they're bringing these motorized ones to to their homes and their bedrooms. It's very niche, but at the same time, it's so widespread and popular at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it really does make a difference. So that's, on our social channels, we keep it fun, we keep it light, we appeal to what people are wanting and want to feel. It's all about a feeling that you can create with the shade and drapery, and we also do wallpaper. So it's like a perimeter vision. And once you've got that perimeter in place, really any furniture you throw in there is just going to look that much better.
Oh my gosh, you're inspired. You're inspiring me so much because like I said, I just bought a house and I've got, things to do. And we've been, doing things the right way for the first time. We're not relying on our Wayfair furniture anymore. We're stepping it up in the world. And I've actually been thinking like we should have someone come in, redo my daughter's room and like make it the kind of like the vision that every mom, has on their Pinterest board, with like the wallpaper and everything. Like up until now, mind you, she's 1, so it hasn't been that long. But up until now, it's just been piecing things together. But like you were saying, it's like a feeling. Like you want to like walk into a room and it's like that feeling that you get. So I cannot imagine what it's like in one of your guys' showrooms. How many locations do you have?
We have 4 locations spread out through Houston. So Houston's a very big place. We've got one near Galveston, one in the Woodlands, and then one in Westview. And then I'm right now at our flagship location, which is in the Spring Valley area.
Okay. And you just bounce around, or do you typically stay in?
I bounce around. I've already been at 2 locations this morning. So just depending on the needs. I mean, some of these locations, we've been at our one in Baybrook for the past 40 years. So these locations are just a mainstay. And, we don't need as many bricks and mortar, yet such a value add that we have for people to come in and see, touch, and feel that's a huge part of what we do.
It is. I'm so glad you brought that up because I feel like in the world of internet shopping, online shopping, your industry is definitely one of those where your client definitely probably really values being able to come in, see things in person. But like you can't even go to like the Gap and see what they have online in the store anymore. I just feel like it's just everything's online now. And
Target shelves are empty.
Empty. They're completely empty. And I'm like, I want to see this stuff in person. I'm sick of like having a pile of returns to ship back,
Absolutely. So and I know you guys do a lot of digital marketing and we keep it balanced. So we keep all of our doors open. So while we're talking a lot about back to basics and the client experience, we are doing all of the unique things behind the scenes. I mean, I would not, take my pedal off the metal for any means on my PPC. I would not jeopardize that. Our SEO efforts, we're constantly doing all those things and running on all cylinders because I know it's about the whole equation. AI SEO, so funny you mentioned that because I need to explore that more on the reputation management side. I was just talking about it this morning with my EO business group, and it's unbelievable because when you go to Google and it basically flips over into the AI mode, I mean, it is aggregating everything about your history that's ever existed. And it's a little scary because when you Google creative blinds, Houston reviews, I mean, these are 100% authentic, real reviews. We don't pay for reviews. We have earned this reputation and we've got an outstanding Google review rating. It's pulling up things though from Angie's List from 1990 or from Yelp, which in my opinion, just unless you're spending and spending and spending and spending and spending and spending, your bad reviews escalate to the top. So that one review from 10 years ago is literally being aggregated and is given equal weight in the AI algorithm right now. And so I caught that a few days ago. Actually, that is not true. My dad caught that a few days ago and he's like, what is this? And it's got every con that ever existed and from years and years and years ago. So it scared me. I literally had an open discussion with my with my EO group this morning, said, do I just put a note on the website? Do I hire an AI SEO firm? Who are these people that are specializing in? How important is it? So we are looking at all the things to make sure that we're doing everything right so that we don't lose focus of how technology and the internet is really changing.
Definitely. Yes, I think that AI SEO is going to be very important. And I will say the earlier you now, it's good that you're thinking about it, because it's just like traditional SEO. The people that got in on it in the early 2000s, their websites are still ranking. Now that this has come in, it's the same exact situation. So it's good that you're thinking about it. But it's also good as a whole. Like, technology does change, and it sounds like you're not doing anything that is over in out of the ordinary, but you're just it's like maintenance. Like, you're doing what's working and online, and then you're focusing on other things that are also working, which is good, because a lot of times we see companies that'll come into us and be like, hey, we want to be on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, we want our Google to be ranking. And it's just like, okay, do you have 40 grand a month to start with? Just to do all of this, or what? And they're like, no, we have $5,000. And it's like, okay, so we need to focus where we can move the needle. And I promise you it'll be worth it, because you're not going to be spreading yourself thin. We'll focus on where you can actually get return, and then you can reinvest as you go. And companies are really starting to value that, I'm finding, because all the time we get people that want to do everything, and they feel for some reason there's this stigma that if you're not doing every single thing, then you're going to get left behind. But there's plenty of companies that just focus on influencer marketing, and they don't do any ads, and they don't do anything. They just spend a lot of money on influencer, and that really works for them. You don't have to do everything in order to be successful now, but you do have to stay on top of technology and what changes. So that's good that you're thinking about that. Before I let you go, I want to know, what is one thing, and I know you and I talked about this, but you don't have to give the same answer, or if it is the answer that you can give it. But what is one thing that you would recommend, or it could be a series of things, to anyone that is like you when you kind of got that call from your dad, and you weren't sure what you're gonna do, but maybe someone that's hungry, inspiring entrepreneur, wants to kind of get into the action, doesn't really know what habits to support that behavior or that outcome. What are a few things, or even one thing that is you would recommend, or a piece of advice, or even a habit?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to jump in feet first. And sometimes blindfolded is the best way. Just not overthinking, really going forward, putting one foot in front of the other. I cannot make assumptions, or else I will not have the creative flow. And so every day I just try to let answers come to me and live in a heads up world and see what comes about, because otherwise it's you're making guesses and doing business with yourself. So that's kind of how I keep grounded and centered on what's important. Is I let the important rise and then focus on that. In terms of habits, gosh, I mean, I could be so much better. And it's really about the basics. When I get up at the same time every day, hop on the rower for 15 minutes, get dressed, ready for work, and go out the door at the same time, I just feel exponentially better. And it sounds so simple, but when I remember that every once in a while, it feels life-changing.
Yeah, it's because it is life-changing. So thank you so much. I really appreciate everything you've shared and just your openness. And I'm excited to see the future of the business.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was fun.
You're welcome.